this game was over before it started. Obviously, we'll talk about everything that happened. We'll see if we need to update the rankings. In reality, we probably don't. But, I mean, we can officially say at this point, the Baltimore Ravens are back. All right. Here in this game, Lamar Jackson has the easiest 4 passing touchdown performance you'll ever see. Now, if you're actually looking at the fantasy points scored from Lamar Jackson in this game, not great. Like, it was actually funny that Corey in the Flock League chats going through and saying like, oh, the best fantasy quarterback of all time has arrived. And you go through and you look at what we've had with, like, realistically what Lamar did in this day, fantasy purposes, scores 25 points. Like, in my mind, this is almost a bad Lamar day because he doesn't run the ball at all. Now, of course, you could come through and say like, oh, is this due to him coming back from the hamstring, him being less mobile? No, I mean, he was dancing in the pocket. He looked like he had all mobility. He looked like he has no limitations whatsoever. It was just simply the Miami Dolphins had no shot at ever coming close to winning this game. So Lamar Jackson, he wasn't going to risk it. He wasn't going to go out there and run. Lamar, we had as our QB3 in our rest of season rankings inside the S tier. There's no reason for us to move him down. Of course, if you wanted to move him back up to 1, by all means, you do you. I honestly think you can move him ahead of Patrick Mahomes, and I probably will. Mahomes is averaging 24.5 points per game so far this season. He's actually the QB1 in fantasy. The only reason I would give a slight tier break to, or a slight edge to Lamar and Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes is you have to deal with the week 10 bye week for Patrick Mahomes. So if I was a team that needed to win games in the regular season, I'd probably opt to go with the other 2 running backs that are already through their bye, but nothing changes with Lamar. He was an elite fantasy quarterback before this. He had a 4 passing touchdown game, and if anything, it was a quote-unquote bad day for him because he didn't run the ball. He's going to be incredible rest of season. Derrick Henry owners get bailed out. Like, oh, dear God. Derrick Henry does nothing all game until the 4th quarter when the game's already over. What the hell is Derrick Henry doing out there? Does Baltimore just absolutely hate Miami or something? Like, why are they keeping Derrick Henry out there until the very end? And Derrick Henry does eventually have himself a fine performance. The issue that you're always going to have with Derrick Henry is there's nothing when it comes to receiving. So if you don't get the rushing touchdown, it's not going to be great. Now, of course, I'm not going to sit here and you're not going to cry about getting like 13 fantasy points, right? But if we're looking at where we need to move Derrick Henry in our rest of season ranks, I had him as our RB11 inside the B tier guys with Kyron Williams, Javonte, Bucky, Brees. I'd probably keep him there again. This was like one of our number 1 buy low candidates 2 weeks back, just because we could look at what sportsbooks were saying. And they were saying, oh, when you get Lamar Jackson back in, this offense will be incredible. So realistically, Derrick Henry's going to be much better in better game environments. Now, going over to the pass catchers. Zay Flowers, I mean, again, it's a game in which you have 18 total completions for Lamar. So you're not expecting Flowers to go insane, right? He has really good market share numbers with a total of 5 receptions in this. But it's only 11.5 fantasy points. And the issue is if you're going to have 4 touchdowns and none going over Tuesday. Now, realistically, if I go and look at where he's at in my rest of season ranks, I'm probably going to keep him inside the D tier with guys like Devonta Smith, Sutton, Michael Pittman, A.J. Brown. I don't think anything changes at all for Zay. And then going over to the tight ends, like Charlie Kolar, obviously blocking tight end, no interest whatsoever. The thing that we have to do is we have to move Mark Andrews up in our rankings. I think Mark Andrews has to go inside like the D tier of tight ends. If I was looking at Mark Andrews or TJ Hawkinson rest of season, I probably prefer Andrews. But here's the thing. While Andrews drops like the first few touchdowns in this game, the dude has 3 targets. How are we going to sit there and how are we going to say like, oh, we know exactly what we're getting from Lamar? I'm sorry, from Andrews. Like, you don't know what the volume looks like. Isaiah likely had 4 targets. So even though Andrews has a couple big games, I don't think you could come through. I don't think you can call Mark Andrews like a must-start tight end by any stretch of the imagination at this point. Now, going over and looking at what we have with the Miami Dolphins side of things, Tua was not rosterable before. He is not rosterable after. All anybody has talked about for weeks now is, should the coach get fired? Should the quarterback get benched? Which in reality, it does look like that's probably going to be the spot. I mean, this is the spot where it happens. Thursday night game that everybody watches. Devon Achane, we still had ranked as an elite running back in fantasy because it doesn't matter if the Miami Dolphins have a great performance. It doesn't matter if the Miami Dolphins are certified cheeks. Devon Achane's getting you 16 fantasy points in a full PPR format every single week, regardless. It's exactly what he does this week. Devon Achane in this game outscores Derrick Henry in dramatic fashion. So, Devon Achane, I had as our running back 5 here in a full PPR format. I'm not changing that ranking. Then going over and looking at wide receiver, obviously Jalen Waddle had a big touchdown that was called back. I know a lot of people are going to focus in on that. A lot of people are going to say, oh, this game would have been close, could have been close, should have been close, blah, blah, blah. Waddle probably remains the same spot in our rankings going into the future. It doesn't matter if the coach, this offense is garbage. Waddle's a great talent. Tyreek's not here, so he's just not going to have a lot of competition. I have him right in the same range as Brian Thomas, DK Metcalf, Tedero McMillan, and Deebo Samuel. I don't think we're going to go through, and I don't think we're going to move Waddle in a dramatic way, even if he got a big play called back. And then going over to the tight ends, who cares about Greg Dulcich? Don't pick him up. Darren Waller will be back later in the year. Who cares about Darren Waller? This offense isn't good enough. But I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't, it's going to be a short video. There's nothing really to talk about. Baltimore's the lead again. Lamar's an S-tier quarterback. Henry's a must-start running back. Zay Flowers, wide receiver 2 for me. Going over and looking at what we have with Miami, Tua wasn't startable before this. Tua is not startable after this. Achane was a must-start running back before this. Achane is a must-start running back after this. Waddle was a wide receiver 2 before this. Waddle's a wide receiver 2 after this. Really, the only thing is, I guess, maybe you do have, I don't know. Maybe you have Andrews viable, but Andrews had 3 targets, so I'm not going to be losing my mind here with Andrews. But I think that's all I got for you. I mean, here, if y'all wanted to have an argument, we got people in the chat screaming, why is Michael Pittman Jr. a wide receiver 2 in your rankings? I have the best news you could possibly ever get, my friend. I know we're not talking about the Colts in this video, but just for you, I'm going to get you something a little special. If you think our ranking of Pittman is disrespectful, by all means, go over to Underdog Fantasy, my friend, and take the higher than Michael Pittman 10.5 fantasy points. I did it last week. I won some money, and I'm horrible at this. And I genuinely mean that. With these Underdog pick'ems, I am absolutely horrible. But if y'all remember the video last week, we went higher on Pittman, like 10.5 fantasy points. It worked out. I'll leave you the link in the description. I will leave you the link in the comment section. And I'll also get you $100 on Underdog Fantasy after you play your first $5. You can play your first $5 going with Pittman higher than 10.5 fantasy points. Underdog Fantasy is available in almost every single state for you, my friend. And on top of that, with code FLOCK, with that link in the description comment section, you'll get a free Josh Allen pick, higher or lower, half a total yard that you can use in that Sunday game. And you can ask me questions in these live streams whenever you want. And I'll be live streaming, answering your questions every single day until Christmas. I'll leave you that link to Underdog. I'll leave you that link in the description and comment section. You can go scream at me about Michael Pittman Jr. there. But I think that's it. I know this is a very boring live stream. I know we didn't really accomplish anything, but I live stream every single day, giving you game reactions. Sometimes the game reactions are going to be like, that was predictable. It's about what you expected. Nothing changes. And I think this is one of those instances. But really appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. And really hope we get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow night, where I'll be answering your questions. Probably will be a shorter live stream tomorrow. I have a 50-mile race that I'm running on Saturday morning. So I'm going to try to go to bed early-ish tomorrow night. And then Saturday, I'll be live again after the race. I don't know when I'm going to finish it. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long, but I'll be live answering your questions then as well. Really appreciate you. And I really hope we get to see you out with the live stream either tomorrow, Saturday.